You ever have your own mama look you dead in the eyes and say you're dead to her? Not in a fight, not in the heat of the moment, but calm, cold, like she was reading the weather report. That's how it started for me. My name's Brooke Callahan. I'm 33 now. 2 weeks ago, my mother showed up on my porch in her church lady cardigan, dragging a beat-up suitcase and waving a folded piece of paper like it was a winning lottery ticket. No, I missed you. No, how are my grandbabies? Just dollar signs. 925,000 of them. She had no clue I'd been keeping my own list for 9 straight years. Every slammed door, every returned photo, every nasty text from my sister. All of it dated and saved in a plain black binder sitting in my desk drawer like a loaded gun. This is the story of how I went from the family disappointment to the woman who finally said enough. I grew up in Ridgeview, Tennessee. Population barely 2,000. 1 Walmart, 1 high school, and 1 Baptist church that basically ran the whole town. My dad, Ray, worked the same shift at the paper mill for 30 years. Came home smelling like chemicals and exhaustion every single night. Mom, Linda, ruled the house and the women's Bible study group like a damn dictator. Everything had to be perfect. Potlucks, prayer chains, who sat where on Sunday. My little sister Courtney was the golden child. Pretty, loud, cheerleader, homecoming queen. I was the quiet, straight A nerd who did the dishes without being asked and never got a good job for it. Love in our house wasn't free. It was budgeted, and Courtney always got the biggest slice. I got a full ride to the University of Tennessee. First one in the family to go to college. Mom packed my bags and slipped in one of those cheesy flower cards. "Come home soon. You belong here." I kept that card for years. That's where I met Jamal Hayes. Jamal was brilliant. Engineering major, quiet confidence, the kind of guy who listened like what you said actually mattered. His mom raised him alone in Memphis after his dad bounced. Worked 2 jobs, still showed up to every parent-teacher night. Jamal was black, smart, ambitious, and treated me like I was the best thing that ever happened to him. We dated 3 solid years. Real slow, real steady. He met my parents twice. First time Mom smiled too big and called him Jamal, or is it Jerome? Second time she barely looked at him. Dad just grunted and talked about the weather. Courtney was the only honest one. She pulled me aside at Thanksgiving and whispered, "Girl, Mom is never gonna be okay with this. You know that, right?" I hope she was wrong. Jamal proposed at our tiny off-campus apartment. No big ring, just him looking me in the eyes saying, "I want to build a life with you, Brooke." For real, I said yes before he even finished the sentence. When I called home to tell them, the line went dead silent. Then Mom's voice, ice cold, "You need to think about what this means for this family, Brooke." Dad got on the extension and said nothing. 2 days later, Courtney texted, "Mom's been crying nonstop. Happy now?" 2 weeks after that, the letter came, real handwritten on fancy stationery. 4 paragraphs ending with, "If you marry him, you're choosing him over your blood. We will not attend. Do not expect to come back through our door. He is not one of us. He never will be." I read it 3 times, folded it, and put it in a folder. Something told me to keep every single piece of proof. We got married at the county courthouse, 12 people total, all Jamal's side. His mom flew in with pound cake and pinned a flower on my cheap $160 consignment dress. She hugged me tight and said, "Welcome to the family, baby. No dad walking me down any aisle. Just us, 2 broke kids who chose each other anyway." That night I cried in our apartment. Not from regret, from grief. I had just married the love of my life, and the people who raised me couldn't even pretend to care. A week later, I mailed them our wedding photo with a note. "We're happy. I hope you can be happy for us one day." It came back stamped "Return to Sender." That was item number 2 in what became my binder. The next 9 years were quiet on their end, loud on ours. Jamal started a logistics software company with 2 college buddies. I worked as an accountant, kept the books straight, raised our 2 kids, a boy and a girl who looked just like their daddy and have my stubborn streak. We struggled hard the first few years. Raymond nights, second jobs, prayers that the car would start. But we built something real. Last year, his company went public. Suddenly, we weren't scraping by anymore. We hit 8 figures. Nice house in the suburbs outside Nashville. Kids in good schools. The kind of security I never had growing up. That's when my mother decided I existed again. 2 weeks ago, the doorbell rang. There she stood. Same beige cardigan. Same judgmental eyes. Suitcase on the porch like she planned to stay. "Brooke," she said, "all business. We need to talk about the family's future." She handed me the list. Mortgage help. Courtney's credit card debt. Dad's medical bills. A family vacation fund. Total, $925,000. She even had the nerve to say, "Blood is blood. You owe us this." I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I walked inside, came back with my black binder, and set it on the table between us. "Mom," I said, calm as hell, "let me show you my list." Page after page. Every ignored birthday. Every returned Christmas card. Every voicemail I left after the kids were born that went unanswered. The letter. The wedding photo. Text from Courtney calling my husband names I won't repeat. 9 years of proof that they wrote me off the second I chose love over their hate. She flipped through it, face getting redder with every page. "This is ridiculous. We're family _" "No," I cut her off. "Family shows up when things are hard, not when the bank account gets fat. You disowned me for marrying a good man. You missed your grandkids' births, first steps, everything. And now you want money?" The answer is no. She tried the tears, the guilt, the "we raised you" card. I just looked at her and said, "You raised me to believe in right and wrong. Turns out you were wrong about a lot of things." Jamal stood behind me the whole time, arms crossed, quiet support like always. My rock. She left without the suitcase. Haven't heard from her since. Now I'm sitting here in my kitchen, kids laughing in the backyard, Jamal grilling steaks, and that black binder finally feels lighter. I don't hate them anymore. I just don't carry their weight. I chose love. I chose my husband. I chose the family we built. And 9 years later, that choice paid off in ways they'll never understand.